Well, greetings, founding lifetime member. It's nice to see you again. Today is February 4th. Is it 4th? Oh no, it's the 5th. I knew that wasn't right. Today's February 5th, 2012. Super Bowl Sunday, and I know you might just not comprehend my football fandom, but my team is in the Super Bowl today, and that's all I'm saying. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about today is a talk, an idea, a book, a workshop, a project that I call It's Never the Thing. And when it came to me last night, or this morning, last night, that this is what I was going to talk about with you today, I realized that I wrote about this a long time ago. In fact, I was writing a book called It's Never the Thing. And it took me a while to deal with this idea of saying never, because I had come to believe that one should never say never. And what I want to do, because I can't explain it any better than what I've already written, I've got my handy laptop in front of me, I don't know if you can see that, and I'm going to just write to you the preface, read to you the preface of what I wrote back in 2004, and it talks about this idea. So I'm just going to read it through, or most of it, and then come back a little bit. So here we go. Well into my late 20s, I threw never around like a peanut vendor at a baseball game. I'll never live in that kind of house. I'll never get divorced. I'll never work at that place. I'll never be a friend to that person. I'll never buy that kind of car. Some years passed and I noticed a few things. I lived in that kind of house. I got divorced. I worked at that place. I became friends with that person. And of course, I bought that kind of car. Something was not working. I began taking the adage, never say never, to heart. Then I began using it all the time and ultimately integrated it into my being. With the fervor of a new convert, I advanced to pleading with others. Never say never, just don't. In time, I developed a new language of sorts for myself and anyone who'd listen. I can't imagine a circumstance that would propel me to go trekking in Antarctica. The invisible pat on my own back was almost palpable to others. But I knew I was safe, no Antarctica for me. While others often insisted, well, this is a situation where I can definitely say never, I've remained a purist on the issue. So I've also struggled profoundly as I've ruminated on the idea for and title of this book, that book. After all I've said about never saying never, how can I possibly write a book with such a declarative title that uses the word never? My struggle was compounded when, in my presence, a close friend, unaware of my writing plans, said never say never to someone else with what seemed like genuine gratitude. I'm sorry. She said never say never to someone else, and with what seemed like genuine gratitude, turned to me and said, I learned that from you. Great. I wasn't sure anyone ever paid attention anyway, and now it was clear that others, perhaps influenced over time by my friendly badgering, might also question how I might title a book as I'd been planning. It's Never the Thing. I knew I'd find the answer, though, because the title just wouldn't quit, it wouldn't go away, and it wouldn't let me change it. Never? It's never the thing that's the issue? I've asked myself time and again, really? Couldn't it ever be the thing? Couldn't a divorce or doing drugs or the internet ever in themselves be the thing, the real issue? Time and again the answer was no. Yet if that was true, and I knew in my guts, listened to inspiration, that it was, then what of this concept I'd been espousing for more than a decade? So I investigated and I looked more closely at the nevers of my young adulthood. I will never do this. I will never do that. I began to see that never say never made utter sense when it had to do with the future. Never saying never in this regard is really a very spiritual concept, because it's ultimately about showing a healthy respect for the living universe, for all that is, by acknowledging that compared to it, Most of us know virtually nothing about anything. So who the heck are we to ever say never about anything that may or may not manifest in the future? On the other hand, when used in reference to something in the past, such as, I've never in this lifetime been to China, well, isn't that simply a fact? So it was all coming together. And as I wrote then, this book is intended to inspire us to blame less, to take responsibility more, and stop demonizing things that have no intrinsic values of their own. The internet is dangerous. Perhaps true for some people, but not necessarily for others. Divorce is bad for children. Again, perhaps for some, but not necessarily for everyone. Pornography is evil. Again, for some people that might very well be the case. For others, not so much. So it's my intention that when we take this idea, it's never the thing, and really integrate it into our souls, that no matter how much we may wish it to be so, no matter how difficult it may be to accept that it is not so, and no matter how much we struggle to give up some things we've learned from family, friends, and society, it really is true that it's never the thing. It's never the thing, and I'll close this now, that we think is upsetting us, impeding our happiness. It's not what he said, what she said, what that one did, this circumstance, the economy, any of it. It's never the thing. It's always us. It's always us living in an experience that we created, consciously or otherwise, ultimately to fuel our expanded awareness. It's never the thing. It is never the thing, present tense. We're not saying, I will never do something, future tense. That's where never say never really comes in handy. But when it comes to present tense and a statement of real fact, when it comes to living as a spiritual being, having a human experience, and being willing to take responsibility for everything in our experience, then it's absolutely true that it's never the thing. I wrote a blog about this. Some of you might have seen it. If you go on the website, spiritualworkout.com, and scroll down, I think it's dated sometime last July, and I'm pretty sure it's titled something like, I Was So Mad. It talks about this idea, and I'm no hero. I'm just practicing what I tell other people I think they should practice. But it really is this idea of, some might call it radical responsibility, and be like, wow, I don't ever get to blame anybody for anything, really ever, no matter what they did. Because it's true that no matter what they're doing, they're just playing their part in your little movie. And your little movie is all about you and your experience, and there isn't anything that's going on that hasn't been created by you for you. It's that idea that nothing's happening to us, everything's happening for us. Now, of course, this is not news to anybody, but I wanted to highlight this particular topic this morning and bring it to you, and now I've done so. So thank you very much. Always a pleasure to see you. I'm still here in New York City, rocking and rolling, and I look forward to hearing from you whenever that happens. Have a great day.